Why don't we ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Now, isn't that a thought to ponder? Just imagine those gigantic creatures so gracefully perched up on the branches, completely invisible to the naked eye. It's almost as if they've mastered the art of camouflage. But let's not venture off into the wild. Let's bring it back to our urban jungle. Let's take a moment and think about this. We all have our own metaphorical elephants, our fears, our insecurities, the things that make us feel like we're too big, too out of place, too visible. And just like our elephant friends, we've become pretty good at hiding these fears, haven't we? But here's the catch. Just because we're good at hiding something doesn't mean it's not there, it doesn't mean it's not real, and it certainly doesn't mean it's not affecting us. Here's another thought. What if we could use this elephant-sized talent for something positive? What if we could channel it into something that could help us grow, help us achieve our goals, help us win? So let's flip the script. Instead of hiding our fears, what if we started hiding our doubts? What if we started camouflaging our insecurities, our worries, our what-ifs? Imagine how freeing it would be to let go of all the negativity, all the self-doubt, all the things that hold us back. And guess what? Just like our elephant friends, we would become really good at it. We would become masters of our own minds, captains of our own souls. So the next time you feel like you're too big, too out of place, too visible, remember the elephants. Remember how good they are at hiding in trees. And remember that just like those elephants, we might not see our potential, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I remember standing at the edge of a 10-meter diving platform, my knees shaking like a leaf in the wind. The world seemed to spin around me as I gazed down at the water, a vast blue expanse that looked more like a bottomless pit. It was a fear of heights, a fear that seemed as towering as the platform I was standing on. I was a teenager back then, with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of fears. I had always loved the water, but the heights, not so much. They made me feel dizzy, unsettled, a feeling akin to standing on the edge of an abyss. The fear was not just about the height or the fall, it was about the unknown, the uncertain. It was about the what-ifs that clouded my mind. What if I lose control? What if I can't swim back to the surface? But then there was also the desire to jump, to feel the rush of the wind against my face, to plunge into the water and emerge victorious. The desire was strong, stronger than the fear, but it was not enough to push me off the edge, so I started small. I began with the lower platforms, gradually working my way up. With each jump, the fear lessened, replaced by a growing sense of confidence. I began to trust myself, my capabilities, my strength. It was not an overnight transformation. It was a process, a journey, filled with small victories and setbacks. There were moments of doubt, moments when the fear seemed to take over, when the platform seemed higher than ever. But I held on, I pushed through. And then, one day, I stood at the edge of the 10-meter platform, the same platform that once seemed terrifying. I looked down, not with fear, but with anticipation, and I jumped. The view from the top was breathtaking, and so was the realization that I had conquered my fear. The fear was still there, but something else was stronger, my desire. You see, we all have fears. We all have those moments where our pulse quickens, our palms get sweaty and our thoughts run wild. But then there's desire, that yearning, that longing that burns within us. It's the spark that ignites the fire in our hearts and fills us with a determination that outshines any fear we might have. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Imagine a child learning to ride a bike for the first time. The fear of falling is real and palpable. They might even scrape a knee or two, but the desire to ride like the wind, to feel the air rush past their face, to join their friends in a thrilling race around the block, that desire is so much stronger. And so they get back on that bike, time and time again, until they're zooming down the street, their laughter echoing in the air. Now, fast forward a few years. That child has grown up, and they're standing at the edge of a cliff, a bungee cord strapped to their ankles. The fear of heights, of falling, is again very real. But the desire to feel the rush, to conquer their fear, to experience the exhilarating sensation of free fall, that desire is stronger. Desire is the driving force that propels us forward. It's the light that guides us through the darkness of our fears. It's the magic ingredient that transforms the impossible into the possible, the dreams into reality. Desire is the power that fuels our journey. It's the compass that points us in the direction of our dreams. It's the energy that keeps us going when the road gets tough and the journey seems endless. So, what's your desire? What's that fire that burns within you? What's that dream that you're willing to face your fears for? My fear didn't disappear, but my desire to jump was stronger. And so, I jumped. It wasn't a one-jump wonder, though. It took me many tries to get comfortable. But isn't that the nature of life? We stumble, we fall, but we pick ourselves up and try again. That's the essence of persistence. It's the grit that keeps us moving forward, even when the going gets tough. It's the fuel that keeps the fire of desire burning brightly, even when the winds of doubt blow fiercely. Let's think about it. Have you ever seen a toddler learning to walk? They don't get it right the first time. They fall, they cry, maybe even get a bruise or two. But they keep trying, keep stumbling, keep falling, until one day they're walking, running, jumping. That's persistence. It's not about never falling. It's about getting up every time we fall. In my case, every jump was a new lesson. Every time I climbed that ladder, my heart pounding like a drum, I was reminded of the power of persistence. It wasn't easy, far from it. The fear was real, palpable, but so was my desire to conquer it. And with every jump, I was a step closer to my goal. And isn't that what life is all about? It's a series of jumps, a series of falls, a series of getting back up. It's a journey, and persistence is the vehicle that drives us forward. Without it, we'd be stuck, paralyzed by fear, unable to move forward. So what's your ladder? What's your jump? What fear are you trying to conquer? Remember, it's not about getting it right the first time. It's about trying, falling, getting back up and trying again. Each jump brought me closer to comfort, to conquering my fear. It was persistence that made it possible. And it's persistence that will make it possible for you too. So, keep trying, keep falling, keep getting back up. Because that's the power of persistence. That's the power of you. Jumping off that platform didn't just help me overcome my fear of heights. It did so much more. It opened doors to a new realm of possibilities, a world where fear doesn't dictate my actions. It's like I was handed a new pair of glasses, and suddenly the world was clearer. I could see the opportunities that lay hidden behind the shroud of my fears. Let's take a journey back in time. Remember when I was afraid to jump off that platform? That fear was a barrier, a wall that blocked my view of the world. It was a boundary, a line that I was too afraid to cross. But when I finally jumped, when I finally crossed that line, I realized that the world on the other side was not as scary as I had imagined. It was filled with opportunities, with adventures waiting to be explored. It was like a domino effect. Overcoming that one fear sparked a chain reaction. Suddenly I was not afraid to take risks, to step out of my comfort zone. I was not afraid to chase my dreams, to pursue my passions. I was not afraid to live life on my own terms. I started seeing changes in all areas of my life. I became a risk-taker at work, always eager to take on new challenges. I became more adventurous in my personal life, always ready to try new things, to explore new places. I became more confident in my abilities, always willing to push my limits, to reach for the stars. But most importantly, I became happier. I woke up every morning with a sense of purpose, with a desire to make the most of each day. And that, my friends, is the real impact of overcoming fears and achieving goals. It's not just about conquering a specific fear or reaching a particular goal. It's about the person you become in the process. It taught me that with desire and persistence, I could conquer any fear, any challenge that life throws at me. So why am I sharing this story with you? It's quite simple, really. I want to remind you of something we often forget in the hustle and bustle of our daily lives. That fear, as intimidating as it may seem, is not the biggest obstacle in our path. Instead, it's the lack of desire to win, to overcome, to triumph. Our fears, they're like shadows. They grow larger and more daunting the closer we get to our light, our goals. But like shadows, they hold no real power. They can't physically stop us. The only power they have is what we grant them. When we back away, when we allow the fear to dictate our actions, that's when it wins. But remember this, You hold the reins. You dictate the direction of your journey. Every step you take, every decision you make, it's all in your hands. And when you're fueled by a burning desire, a desire that roars louder than the whispers of fear, that's when you start to make strides. That's when you start to win. But what does it mean to win? Is it about amassing wealth, fame, power, perhaps? But winning can also mean overcoming a small hurdle that's been holding you back. It could mean standing up for what you believe in, or simply getting through another day. It's not about the scale of the victory, but the strength it took to achieve it. So face your fears. Stare them down. Let them know that you are not to be deterred, not to be defeated. And then, charge forward with all the might your desire can muster. Because when you do, you'll find that your fears, they're not so scary after all. They're merely stepping stones on your path to victory. Because I believe that you too can conquer your fears, you too can reach your goals. Just remember, let your desire be stronger than your fear. So, are you ready to climb your own 10-meter platform? This isn't just about literal heights, it's about the heights of your dreams, aspirations, and the barriers that lie between you and them. It's about that looming, daunting task that you've been shying away from, that project you've been procrastinating on, that dream you've been too scared to pursue. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First, acknowledge your fears. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel the nerves. Fear is natural. It's a part of being human. But don't let it paralyze you. Don't let it hold you back. Acknowledge it, embrace it, but refuse to be defined by it. Second, find your desire to win, your desire to succeed, your desire to make a difference. That desire will be your fuel, your motivation. It will drive you forward, push you to keep going even when the going gets tough. Remember, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, it's about the size of the fight in the dog. And third, take that first step. Just one small step. That's all it takes. It could be as simple as making a plan, setting a goal, or even just getting up a bit earlier in the morning. But take that step, because that step will lead to another, and before you know it, you're on your way. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and every single step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal, closer to your dream. Every mountaintop is within reach if you just keep climbing. And every fear can be overcome if you just keep fighting. So what are you waiting for? Your 10-meter platform awaits. Your mountain is there for you to climb. Your dream is there for you to chase. Remember, the view from the top is always worth it. So go ahead and take that leap. I hope my story has inspired you to face your fears. We've been on a journey today, haven't we? We started with a chuckle, and then we dived deep, exploring the fear of heights. We delved into the potency of desire and the pivotal role of persistence. We also reflected on the profound impact overcoming fears can have on our lives. All of this in the hope that it might ignite a spark within you, the spark that propels you to conquer your own fears. I am grateful that you chose to spend this time with me. It's through sharing our stories that we truly connect and grow. I encourage you to share your own tales of courage and resilience. Let your stories inspire others, just as I hope mine has inspired you. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, your desire to win should always be stronger than your fear. Until next time, keep climbing those platforms.